Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience at Create and Inspire 2025 in Markham, Ontario. This was my first time going to an in-person event with scrapbooking cards today, but also ever. So this was really exciting for me. I have done maybe 3 or so of the delivered crops, which is their online version, which they started in 2020 or 2021, due of course to the pandemic. So we're going to talk today about my experience, and like I said, this was my first time, so this is coming in without having any prior experience except for the delivered version. So I'm going to talk about everything in the process of signing up and the schedule, the costs, the classes, everything about the weekend that was included, that wasn't included, comparing the delivered to this in-person version, and then also if I have any critiques. So I'm really excited to talk to you about this today and hope you find this informative. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll be happy to answer any of them. But without further ado, let's get into it. So sign up was a couple months prior. I don't remember the exact date, but it was a couple months prior. And something happened with the system during sign up. I think it was overloaded. And so you kept having to like refresh and it wasn't working. And I don't blame them for that at all because technology is not my thing. So if there's ever a technical issue, I don't put any blame on anyone because technology is a whole different beast. But I think there were a lot of people interested in this event, which is amazing. So there were some technical difficulties. And so with that being said, when I signed up, I only chose one class because, okay, I will explain how the pricing works. So there is one price for the event, which honestly, I don't remember exactly what the number was, something around $250 Canadian. So there's the one cost for the event, and I'll explain in a second what that includes. And then you sign up for the classes individually, and I believe those cost I think it was $45 Canadian plus tax, so it came out to be like $50.80 or something, or $50.85, something like that. So you had to sign up for the classes individually. I just chose one that I knew for sure I wanted to do, which was Andrea Lake's mini album class. So I signed up for that one and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy the weekend, only one class. I didn't even know what was the norm to do for the weekend. I didn't know how many classes people normally signed up for. So that's just what I went with. With the delivered class, you get access to all of the classes. So I've never had to like think what I want, which I want to do and which I don't want to do. All of the classes are included. Whereas the one in person, you sign up for them individually. So that's a little thing that was different. So I went with my friend Laurel. She came from BC and she stayed with me for a few days after, but she flew in right that day. So I'm going to get a little bit into the schedule. We're going to touch on everything throughout this conversation, but I'm just going to go to the schedule now and I'll explain other details as we go. So she flew in that afternoon. I picked her up from the Toronto airport. That's the airport that's going to be closest to Markham. And I think it was like a 20 or 30 minute drive. I think we took the 407 because traffic, Toronto traffic. But I think with the traffic, it would have been like 45 minutes and I think it only took 20. So it was kind of nice to get there fast and not have to sit in traffic. Registration opened at 3 o'clock and we got there literally right at 3 o'clock and everyone was super nice. When we got in, like you could see people with like their crafty bags and you could like tell who was probably with the Create and Inspire crew and yeah, so you're like spotting other like women. There were men there too, but mostly women around that might be attending. And so we got our room, got settled in, parked, no issues, and then went down to the main space and it was beautifully set up with this big Create sign and you can check in there and you get a name tag and your classes are on the name tag, and you go to you're assigned a table, and then at your table there's like, actually let me grab it. Everyone got a container like this that folds down. And there was a kit in it to make a project, which I will show in a little bit. I just got that ready right here, but I will show you that. So we got a kit for a make and take that was on Saturday night. So that was kind of like what was included. At 4 o'clock, there were opening announcements. And at this point, you could like shop around, chat. There are 2 different shops there that you could buy supplies at, or tools, or whatever you're looking for. So that was very busy at the beginning. And Laurel bought some things, and I just kind of hung around because I wanted to think about what I wanted first, but there was a pretty long line. So we were in line while the announcements were happening. It was pretty much what you would expect out of announcements, like a welcome and introducing all the teachers and a little bit of stories and stuff like that, and just explaining a little bit about how the weekend works. At this time, ordered us some dinner. We just got Five Guys delivered, and you can't get it delivered to like the lobby and eat it in there, or not the lobby, but the big room that you're in where the crop event is. By the way, that room was huge. So I think there were like over 300 people at this event. So it was very big, huge room, tables. There's 8 people at a table. And leading up to the event, you can like email requests you want to sit with. I think that's like basically guaranteed. And then you're just placed with other random people. We got a really lovely group of ladies at our table. Anyway, we ordered dinner and then we ate it upstairs. We just like picked it up in the lobby, and then classes began, and we ordered in because we knew we had like back-to-back things. So at 6 o'clock was our class with Andrea, and we made the mini album. So let me show you that here. This is the album we made. Mine is a little bit different, I think, than the instructions, but I think that's kind of the point too. So I'll just kind of quickly flip through this. I didn't have pictures with me. I didn't bring any pictures. I don't know what's going to go in this album, but I will quickly just show you the album. I wish I would have had my sewing machine to kind of make more details, but that's okay. You'll kind of get like an idea of what the album looks like from this video. Sorry, this is like such an awkward way to show you, but hopefully you get the gist. Like I said, it's not like everything is in it yet, so when I am completely done the album, then I'll do like a full flip through with all of my photos and everything. So this just gives you a gist. I really hope you can hear me too. My mouth is kind of covered and I'm not using my normal camera, so I'm not used to this. But anyway, it was an amazing class, really full class, meaning like a lot of content, because it's a whole mini album. Like other classes, you're just learning scrapbook layouts, but this is a whole mini album. So there's a lot to it. So most people didn't finish. I did not finish, even for how simple my album looks. I love this page. It's like a little file folder page. But once I know what photos are going to go in here, I will definitely embellish more. So I finished this, I think I finished this that night or the next morning. And it just depends on how detailed you want to make it and how much detail you want to go into with your album, or if you have pictures already, if you don't have pictures, whatever the case may be. Did I go through everything? Yeah, I think I did. So this was a 6x8 album, and like I said, once I have my photos, then I'll be able to really embellish it and finish this album. But I love it. I think it's so cute, and great value for what it was. It was a long class. Laurel and I were saying that like it almost would have been nicer if like Friday night we had a part 1 of the class that was 2 hours long, and then Saturday or Sunday we had a part 2 that was 2 hours long, so we could finish up the album. But I also use these products to make a couple more scrapbook layouts in my free time. So even though it looks like I used up a lot, I did use up a lot of papers here. I have like a bunch of papers here. It looks like I used up a lot, but I still made a couple more scrapbook layouts. So I did make a lot out of what was given. Yeah, so there was the album itself, and that came with all the normal things that comes in a 6x8 snap album. Sticker sheet, foam stickers. Oh, I wonder if it was the kit. I think it might have been the Yeah, the like kit that Simple Stories does. So that's where the stickers came from. And then foam stickers. I feel like I'm missing something else, but maybe not, because yeah, that might be it. But I found it to be plenty for the album and for the other scrapbook layouts I made. I'm not going to show you the scrapbook layouts I made just because I will show those in an album flip through in the future. But I did work on, I only brought 9 projects to work on, which I realized was not enough. I brought 6 project life spreads and 3 scrapbook layouts. That was totally not enough stuff to bring. By mid-afternoon on Saturday, I was done everything, like including the mini album. I was like, so what now? Which I'll get to that later, but I just wanted to show you that class. And yeah, Andrea is amazing. She is a fantastic teacher. She is so kind. I wish I had signed up for her other class so I got to like hang out with her more and learn from her more. But I am glad I did get into the mini album class at the very least. So I would love to take more classes from her in the future. I did take an online class, mini album class from her in the past, and I really enjoyed that. So I do hope to take more of her classes in the future. And I know that she does a lot of classes for Scrapbooking cards today. So I'm sure there'll be lots of that in the future. So that was awesome. Love her style. If you don't follow her already, you need to. I'm sure you already do, but yeah, she is super lovely. Oh, and she bought some charms from me. So I gave her the charms. And I gave her some sequin mixes too, and she was just so kind and like treating me like I was a celebrity or something. Like, it was just so sweet, and maybe that's the imposter syndrome in me, but she is just so sweet, and I wish I got to spend more time with her, but I know she was like doing a million things and meeting a million people, so she was such a joy, and hopefully I'll be able to take more classes from her in the future. Okay, so that was our class from 6 till 9, and then at 9:30 was a dessert buffet, which was delicious. The food at the hotel was really good. The dessert buffet was included in the price. So this is one of the things that was included in the price. Dinner was not included. And at 10 o'clock, there was a fun with our instructors, where there was like a Q&A kind of thing with the instructors, I believe it was, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I am not a night person. I am a morning person. So for me, it was just not ideal, which we'll get to in the critiques at the end. So I was half asleep when that happened. And then the event closed at midnight. So I think that went from 10 till 11. And then from 11 till 12, the crop space was available for you to do whatever you want. Same with the entire evening. The crop space was available to hang out in. So if you didn't have a class, there was another class from 6:30 to 8:30, and then actually 2 classes from 6:30 to 8:30. So there were 3 different classrooms, and they had less classes when everyone signed up, but then so many people signed up for individual classes that they actually added more. So that's kind of cool. The next day, Saturday, 8:30 a.m. is when the event opens. So that's when you can go into the crop space. I was there right at 8:30 a.m. because again, I'm a morning person, so I was ready to go. There weren't any morning announcements or anything like that. Everyone just kind of settled in, but it was very quiet in the morning. From 9:30 till 11:30, there were 3 different classes. I did not attend any of them, but actually the night before, I had asked if there were any open spots in any of the other classes, because I was like, what am I going to do the rest of the time? I need something to fill my time. So I asked, and there were 3 different options. There was a card class and 2 scrapbooking classes, and I decided to go for Megan's scrapbooking class. Of course, my camera died, and I don't remember what I was talking about, but we are back. Okay, so I'm going to just talk about what Saturday looked like. So I think I was saying the event opened at 8:30, and I was there right from the beginning of that day. It was very quiet. Not a lot of people were up that early. I'm assuming there were lots of people who stayed up, but I'm not totally sure. There wasn't a breakfast provided, so I went around 9:45. I went to Booster Juice that was just like across the street basically, and got myself a smoothie and came back, and then I just crafted all morning. I worked on all of the project life spreads and scrapbook layouts that I had with me to work on, so that's kind of how I spent my morning. I didn't really bring much. I brought 2 tote bags of supplies and tools, and that was it. I didn't bring too much. And then there was a lunch buffet from 12 till 1:30. It was a pretty simple lunch. There were 2 kinds of salads, like a green salad and a potato salad, and then there were, I think, 3 different types of sandwiches. They were very good if you had any food restrictions or allergies, so you obviously had to let them know beforehand, but they had options and accommodations for everyone. So that is amazing. I don't know what they were because I obviously didn't need them, but they did have that available. So in the afternoon, I just have the schedule here, so I'm just referring to that. There were 3 classes at 2 o'clock, so I took the class with Megan, and let me just find it here. It was amazing, by the way. It was so good. She had like a little, like almost like a lesson in the beginning of it, and I took a lot of notes. Where I have my paper somewhere of the directions where I took notes. Yes, here we go. So you get a booklet for each and every class with all of the pictures and directions and everything. So in the back, I was able to take notes. So she had some slideshows about that, which was great. I loved that. I felt like I really learned a lot. And then she had 3 scrapbook layouts, 1 by itself, and then 2 that were like a double page layout, and then she had a bonus layout. So basically she like started by, after the lesson, she started by guiding you through it, and then you could kind of like continue on your own. This was Rosie Studio Hello It's Me collection. So I'll show you what we got. We got tons of papers. They are single-sided. Sorry, I have scraps in here. Tons of papers. And then we have the die cut cardstock sentiments. And there is 2 of each design. Here's what the back looks like. And there is 166 pieces. That is a lot. And then there is the die cut cardstock ephemera that has 118 pieces, 2 of each design. There was the butterfly embellishments. You can obviously see I used one, and I used other embellishments as well. The sticker book, so that's what it looks like on the front. Here are all of the pages. So there's 6 sheets of paper, some clear and some not clear. So that's great. And then, by the way, this sticker just kind of got lost there, so ignore that sticker. But we got this as well, which is double-sided, the chipboard embellishments. So there's 2 sides there, which is great. And the puffy stickers, we've got 2 sides there, and obviously you can see I have used a lot. So this kit came with tons of supplies. Rosie Studio usually does. Rosie Studio usually has a great value. This class was only 2 hours long, which I felt was more than enough time to start it. I did not finish my projects in that class. I don't think anyone did. But I think if you did have like 3 or 4 hours to finish it all, it just would have been too much time. So you could take the products, the projects, the instructions, and finish it in your own time throughout the weekend. So I'm going to show you the layouts that I did. So here was the first one. And sorry, I thought something was falling off there. I really customized this layout to be more my style. So the 3x4 picture, and I added a doily and different little things like that to make it more me and something that I would use. But when I was chatting with Megan and some others in the group, I was saying that like this, what she shows you is a great starting off point. And then I can kind of take it my own way. Like I would have never thought to do a layout like this with these pattern papers and the black outline or the black border. I would have never done it this way on my own. So it's a great starting point. And this is probably like 90% of how she did it, but just a little bit different. And then we have the double page spread. Again, I did it a little bit different. I used the 3x4 photo on this one. Actually, they all are, but I think this was already 3x4. And you can see how they connect together like that. I did things like the, in this one, I did the black outline. That was kind of my own thing. If I had my sewing machine there, I would have used a sewing machine. And we joked that maybe next time I will have a little portable sewing machine with me. But I'm definitely a sewer on my projects, so I was missing my sewing machine a bit. But if I really wanted to, I could have just paper clipped it all and then taken it home and and sewed it at home. So yeah, so those are some really fun layouts that I will be putting pictures in eventually. And then the bonus layout is this one, which I really liked. Again, I customized it to 3x4. I finished this. So in the class, I finished that first one. And then I was going to finish the rest during the weekend, but I was just like so crafted out that I didn't feel like finishing them. If you know me and how much I craft basically every single day. So to have all this free time to craft, I had done 9 projects. I'd done the mini album the night before and now this, and I was like, you know what, I'll do the rest at home. So I did finish these at home, but I did make them how I would make them if I were doing it there. And what I mean by that is I didn't do sewing around it, even though I could have because I was doing it at home. But I wanted to do it exactly like how I would do it if I were there. So really cute layout. A lot of book products in this collection. So that was really fun. Great class. I'm really, really glad I signed up for it. It broke up my day nicely because when you sign up for the classes, I don't think you know what time the classes are. So we didn't know that the mini album class was going to be the first night, which made that first day really, really full and long. And then the rest of the day is kind of empty. So I'm really glad I signed up for that and that I was able to get into it. It was in a smaller classroom, whereas the other one was in a big classroom. There were 3 different classes from 4:30 to 6:30, 3 different classes from 7 till 9. This event was a mix of paper crafting, like mini albums. Well, it was just Andrea's class. It was a mini album, but there was that and lots of scrapbook layouts and lots of cards. So both card makers and scrapbookers could get lots out of this. And I think most people signed up for multiple classes. At 9 o'clock, there was tea, coffee, and a sweet treat. They were like these little tarts. So you only had one option, I think. There might have been fruit or something, but I can't remember. Actually, that might have been for the gluten-free stuff. I don't know. But I remember I only ate one thing that night, I think. The group make and take was at 10 p.m. So that is where we made the shadow box here. Very cute. Love this shadow box. I think they do something like this every time. So it's a little bit repetitive if you have one of these already, but I don't. Although we have done something like this, not the shadow box, but, or was it? No, I don't think it was. I think it was just like a layout or some, I don't know. I can't totally remember, but I have gotten some of these products, I think, from Crop and Create before, because I recognized all of these products, but I think that it's really cute to do it in the shadow box. And then you had leftovers from that. So from the sticker sheet, we have some leftovers, really cute collection from Doodlebug. And then we have the enamel dots and these, what do you call them? Shape sprinkles. Oh, that's a cute name. So I don't know if it's focusing. I can't really tell. Again, this is a camera I don't really use, so hopefully this video comes out okay. But yeah, so you got some extra products there, which is great. I will definitely be using those probably for documenting this trip. So that was at 10 o'clock. I don't remember how long that went on for, but I remember I was very, very tired at this point. The event closed at midnight, so you could craft until midnight if you wanted to. Next morning, the event opened at 8:30 a.m. There were 3 classes at 9:30 to 11:30 and 3 classes from 12:30 till 2:30. Lunch was not provided. Oh, I will say, Saturday night there was a dinner option. I think it was $40 or $45 for the dinner that the hotel was going to provide for the group. I think it was a small group that did it, but there were a handful of people who did sign up. We ended up eating dinner at the hotel. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. 3:30 was the closing announcements and final prize giveaways. That was delayed because they had some issues. So that didn't start, I think, until 4, which the event was supposed to close at 4, but they didn't start till the closing till 4 o'clock. And that took a good, I feel like it was like 30 or 45 minutes to go through all the giveaways. And they did giveaways like the 2 previous days as well. They do tons of giveaways, tons. I wish I would have known, and I would have given them some products from my shop to give away too. But they did tons of giveaways. So I think there were like 3 or 4 people at our table of 8 who won a prize. So I don't know. They had a ton. So I was like a little bit closer to the end of the giveaways. So, oh, I'm going to show you what I bought too. So there wasn't a lot of options for me when I went. There were only 2 different collections. There were 2 different Disney ones and then a Simple Stories one that I already had and liked, but I didn't really need a duplicate of it. And then the rest were a lot of stamps, dies, card making. I picked out this prize, which is some Disney products. I was so excited and thrilled to win. And I am actually going on a Disney trip. Sorry, this is hard to open. I'm going on a Disney trip and I'm gonna bring stuff to document so that I'm able to document while I'm there. So this is literally so perfect because it comes with a fun red snap flip book album. It comes with the Simple Stories Sage. So the collection is Say Cheese at the Park. So we have the puffy stickers, and I think I do have some of these already, but whatever. We have these honeybee stamps embellishments. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if it's focusing. Again, camera I don't really use. And then these pretty enamel dots. L Studio Jane alphabet stickers. So these are double-sided, so there's lots in there and nice and flat, which is good. We have the chipboard, which is really, really cute. Yeah, I think I have some of these, but I am always documenting Disney, so I'll use it. And there wasn't many other options at that point, so I was just taking what I could get. We have some page protectors, some pocket pages. We have the stickers, which are really cute. And then a bunch of different double-sided paper. Love that. So I was so excited to win. They have like first tier prizes, which are all these kind of things that you can choose from. And then they put all the names back in for the grand prizes, which are a lot of gift cards. So there were a lot of winners, which was so great and so generous. So that lasted a while. Oh, there was also a keynote. There was a keynote at some point, which was really great. That might have been the Saturday night. It's not in here, so I don't quite remember. And it was great. It was really lovely, but I think that was the Saturday night. So for some freebies, that kind of like encapsulates what the weekend looked like. For some of the freebies, we got from Paper Crafters Workshop, we got this bag, which was great because it's like a 12 by 12 bag. We got like a paper to put on your desk that has measurements. We got a notepad and a pen, just all with their logo on it. Gina K Designs gave us all these stamps, and it comes with a die. And then she also gave us these stamps, so they're really pretty. We have tall stems and blooming butterfly. So those are really beautiful. We have this, I don't know if this was Paper Crafters Workshop or the other shop that gave us, I can't even remember now, but their Echo Park paper gingham paper pads. They were giving away pastel and the bright one. At first I was given the bright one, but then someone wanted it and I'm like, I'll trade, I want the pastel. So that was really lovely to be able to get the one I wanted. Then we're gonna go on to the things I purchased, and I got not a lot. I didn't get a lot, but it was all from Paper Crafters Workshop. There were 2 different shops there. Like I said, the other one was, is it Glitter and Ink or something like that? Something along those lines. That was my first time hearing about their store, so that was nice to get introduced to a different Canadian shop, especially with everything going on. It's like very, very good right now, obviously, to support some small Canadian shops. Oh, here is the other thing. I knew there was something else in the in Andrea's class. It also came with the ephemera pack, which here I'll show you what it looks like. I used up most of the stuff, as you can see, but I knew there was something else. Okay, so for things I bought, I got some of the Simple Stories Say Cheese Classic Poo. So the chipboard is $7. This collection is so cute. I just got a few things, not much. I just got 3 things from this collection, but I thought this would go good with like all of my other Disney things. So the chipboard, and then we've got the bits and pieces. So there's what it looks like. It's just so adorable. There were 2 different Winnie the Pooh collections. And then here is the other one. This is there's 55 pieces in here, the sentiment bits, 55 pieces, and the bits and pieces had 55 pieces. And then those were each $7.49. I got from Spellbinders from Kelly Bangs the Just Sayin chipboard adhesive die cuts. This was $11.99 Canadian. Really, really pretty. I don't think I've had anything from Spellbinders, so I'm excited to play with that. And then to match it, I got the 6x6 paper pad. I figured this collection will go really well with a lot of things I already have. I think it would match Simple Stories Flea Market because it has that same green color. And then here is the cardstock die cuts. It was $11.99. There's 166 pieces, 2 of each, so there's 83 designs. Yeah, this was $11.99 Canadian and this was $13.99 Canadian. That's what I bought. What am I missing to talk about? If there are any questions, let me know down below. I am going to talk about any critiques I have.